What's up, y'all? It's KingBritneyChanel. You already know, honey. So today we're going to be talking about Jussie Smollett updates. Honey, are they launching an internal investigation for CPD? And, could this be happening to help kind of cover maybe for Jussie? Or, I don't know. Y'all, I'm going to let y'all decide after I give my commentary on this whole situation. I just have so many opinions on this. Definitely make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. And I hope y'all enjoyed the commentary.
I already know it's your girl, KingBritneyChanel.
Now, I'm sure we all have our opinions, on Jussie Smollett at this point. You know, some of y'all believe, they say they stand with Jussie Smollett. Some of us, I just felt like this was just pure propaganda to push pure agendas on certain issues. And it's like I said before, I feel like they are trying to take traumatic instances from the past and try to keep on rehashing them as if people do go through racism today. But most people don't know how it feels to pick cotton with a cat of nine tails, over their head. A lot of people don't know what it is to really be oppressed and not be able to speak. We have a lot of things to be thankful for, especially in this generation. And I don't take the things that ancestors in the past that they've been through, I don't take that lightly. And so I felt like with the Jussie Smollett situation, as I've said in previous videos, that, things just weren't adding up to me. And I feel like we just live in a generation of outrage to where everybody want to be outraged. Everybody want to just have this, oh, I was persecuted, oh, I was discriminated against type of story, because there's benefits to it. And I don't think that you should use the pain of the past to benefit off that in ways. Now, let's get into what's going on at this time with Jussie Smollett. So they are, he's heading back to court, and basically the particular police department, the CPD, is investigating leaks in their department. Now, they've claimed that they're looking into hospital workers that could have potentially leaked medical records, and they also say they're looking into leaks in their department. But my thing is, and this is just my personal opinion, this is not a fact, this is just my personal opinion on this. I think that the Jussie situation, from my view, this is not 100%, this is not me saying or accusing Jussie Smollett of anything. I'm just saying that I feel like his particular incident or situation, whatever it was used, because I said right around before, they about to pick a voting candidate and all the rest of this stuff, they like to, march back to the past and pull out that civil rights drawer file folder. Because Martin Luther King, he went on to the glory and everything like that. And I feel like the Democrats, they use, I have a black friend, and that black friend is Martin Luther King. And they go in that civil rights drawer, and they pull that out every time to try to get the minority votes or the votes of black people. And I feel like they have not helped black people a lot. I don't. I see them talking mostly about, immigrants from other countries when it comes to issues. I see them going at, Donald Trump about a border wall. But I don't see them talking about issues for actual everyday people that they would consider black or African American. These labels that just party members from that group helped to create. But what I will say with this whole situation, I felt like this story was going to be a story that was going to be used. So, this is another modern day. Y'all know what they call it. Oh, the climate in America, and I can't believe this is happening in 2019. Because I feel like the way the situation was set up, you felt like it was a blast from the past. Like, this is something that, the older generation, they will be able to tell you about, like the Jim Crow era and, the eras post-slavery, like the first post-slavery type of era when they really was going through this stuff. And I think, you know, it was a real situation for them. Like, I don't take nothing from that generation at all. Like, that was a real situation. I just don't like that people take it lightly, the things that those people have gone through. I feel like, you know, they tell us, our ancestors or the older generation, they tell us the stories and they say, remember, remember, remember. And I feel like they really was traumatized. And I feel like they passed that trauma down to the younger generations. But the younger generation, because we have not experienced it in that particular way, I feel like now they just use it as a get out of responsibility card. Like, I'm just about to say this is or whatever, just to say it's or whatever at whoever's expense. You know what I mean? When there are actually, it is actual people that are going through discrimination, that are really going through racial issues, that are really still chained up somewhere in other parts of the world or wherever it may be. So I feel like playing games like this, I just wasn't for it, y'all. Now, he did go back to court. Well, he's due back in court, they say, next Thursday. And this was posted today on March the 8th, 2019. So it says, meanwhile, Chicago police, and this is on VanityFair.com, Chicago police have begun an internal probe into discover who leaked information to the press during their investigation. And Northwestern Memorial Hospital, which treated Smollett following his attack, has fired dozens of employees for accessing his medical records. Y'all know that people get in trouble for that all the time, looking up people's information that has no, you know, they don't have no dealings with it. Now, if you was the person's nurse or the caregiver and you had some type of, you know, reason for that, like I've told people all the time, even when it comes to YouTube, you know, if you have a particular job that deals with you being able to access people's information or whatever, you don't just get to access people's information. Okay, not unless it's public, you know, something that's on the public record, fine. But you don't just get to try to look into people, look them up. That's invasion of privacy and all different types of things. And yeah, even though, you know, we see a news headline and we're curious, that doesn't give us the right, or you see somebody online, or you see you that doesn't give you the right to probe or pry into their life, if that makes any sense. So they fired a whole bunch of people for that. So it says basically the bizarre, you know, the pub, you know, this was, you know, basically R. Kelly, they say his situation overtook this Jussie Smollett's bizarre case of this allegedly phony attack. And you know, the media frenzy is likely to, you know, start back again when he goes back to court next week. So basically, y'all know what he was charged with. He was charged with disorderly conduct for allegedly filing a false police report after allegedly staging a racist and homophobic attack on himself, and was released on $100,000 bail. So basically, as the case unfolded, Smollett has maintained his innocence, but as Smollett prepares to return to court, other local institutions have faced an upheaval of their own. Excuse me, I got tongue twisted like that. On Wednesday, a local CBS affiliate reported that dozens of employees at the Northwestern Memorial Hospital, where he was treated following his attack, have been fired for allegedly accessing Smollett's medical records. In a report from the same affiliate Thursday, sources estimated that the hospital had fired about 60 employees and perhaps more in connection with the Smollett case. Northwestern Medical declined to comment due to personal and HIPAA constraints. On Friday, news broke that Chicago police have launched an internal probe of their own to find out who was responsible for leaking details about their investigation last month. Y'all, I feel like, and this is just my opinion, I feel like they tried to do something to say, oh, these MAGA supporters and the racial climate or whatever, to kind of spark up some, emotionalness in the black community. But it backfired because a lot of people in the black community was questioning it from the go, basically, right? And I feel like now all these people had access to this information, and I feel like this could potentially help Jussie get out, go past go for 200, get out of jail free card type thing. I feel like this could help him because, if you was a defense attorney, you gonna say, oh, all these people tampered with stuff and all the rest of this stuff, and then Jussie is scot-free, and saying, if the case was, the case was dropped, like, let's say if it get dropped, the case was dropped because, oh, I was innocent all along. You know how people do. Like, even when a case is dismissed for something that was mishandled, they still act like they was innocent. And it's just like, I still feel like Jussie was lying. I mean, me personally, I feel like Jussie was lying. I still feel like, the people was wrong for looking into the stuff. But, people was looking at this whole thing like, so you was outside 2 a.m. in the morning. Somebody put a rope on your neck, threw bleach on you, and you light-skinned. And I think, is he biracial? Like, threw bleach on him, allegedly, in a Tabasco bottle. That was in a Tabasco bottle. Then the bleach was, in liquid form and all this. And you didn't immediately call the police. You called your manager. It just didn't, it didn't make sense to me. I think that it was some motivation, maybe for somebody that, that he knew, or maybe to even be a martyr. Because, he was calling himself the gay Tupac. In the interview that he did, he had the Black Power fist on his blazer or cardigan or whatever that was that he had on in the interview. And I just feel like the stories from the past, I like that they inspire this generation, but at the same time, I feel like they cause problems as well, because these people that are from this generation, I'm going to just say that they have not faced nothing really compared to what people that have endured slavery or the Jim Crow era, they could actually tell you, like, people, when it was a time where they would sleep and they was pulling people out their house, a time where you couldn't even really walk, during certain times of the day or night in certain areas. It's still like that in certain areas in the U.S. today. Like, what's that girl named Tamala Horsford that was out in Forsyth. It's still areas that you have around the U.S. And I'm just like, to just make a story up when it's people that's really going through this, real life people that's really going through this in certain parts of America, or people that really have experienced this, because there's still people alive that was from the civil rights era, who have seen some of this racial stuff for real. You just bust out a story, and it's just like, I feel like it inspires this generation, but I feel like it also taught this generation to just whip out that black card and just be like, oh yeah, I'm the victimhood, and just this type of problematic stuff that they do. Like I've seen it. Like, I had a friend who, he was in the wrong. Like, he did something that was wrong. He knew it was wrong, and immediately started talking about, well, the police, be racist at times. And I'm like, well, in this instance, they were not. You were in the wrong. You knew that you weren't supposed to be doing that. You got caught because you was not supposed to be doing that. So why are you now trying to talk about police brutality and the rest of that stuff when you know that you were in the wrong? So I feel like it inspires the youth, but I feel like it's also problematic, having, knowing all of this stuff about what our ancestors have gone through. I feel like it also, makes people do stuff like Jussie Smollett. I'm going to leave that there, you know, to use that to get some type of financial, you know, to get gain in some type of way. Admiration, gain, or whatever you want to call it. Whatever this was about, I don't know. Y'all leave y'all thoughts on this whole situation down below, about them looking into the police department and the hospital workers and stuff. Do y'all feel like they trying to use this to maybe get Jussie a get out of scotch-free card? You know, leave your thoughts down below, and I will see y'all on the next video.